In today's video, I'm going to share with you the exact strategy that I would use to grow my Substack account. So I had a Substack account for, I don't know, like a year and a half. I was really good about posting on it pretty regularly. Like I would post at the same time every week. And I set up this Substack account specifically just to be for career searchers, like people who were looking for a job or going through job transition under the umbrella of like career coaching. Okay, so the Substack had a very specific purpose. And to be honest, I really wasn't getting very much traction at all. And I like maybe would get 3 new subscribers a week if I was lucky. I think that success, though, comes in reviewing what you've done in the past and being like, oh, actually, that was a bright spot. And I think that I can replicate that. So let me tell you what I actually did. Okay, so then last year, around this time, I had worked so hard on the manuscript for my book and I had turned it in. And at the same time, so I was like exhausted, but also exhilarated. And then at the same time, I was like, shit, I have this Substack that's due. It needs to be published literally tomorrow. So whereas before I was very, I think the content was more like emotionally grounded. It was like how to stay confident or how to believe in yourself, like that kind of stuff. I just really didn't have very much gas in the tank and I knew this was due. And I basically wrote an article in 1 hour. I know this because I was at my daughter's gymnastics gym and they have like a pretty big like waiting room with like tables and chairs because they have like long practices. And I remember I was cold. I was wearing a sweater and a puffy jacket. And I was just sitting there and I was like, okay, I've got like an hour before she gets out. Let me just like bang something out. Okay. I didn't even think twice. And because I had like nothing left in the tank, I basically was like, let me just write something that I could just like I know like the back of my hand. And my friend was actually looking for a job at the time. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just write a very like prescriptive article, but it's going to be like, imagine you're my friend. Here are the 10 things that I would tell you to do to get a job. Like no bullshit, no fluff, just literally like week 1, here's what you do. Week 2, here's what you do. And I wrote, and the name of the article was the 10-week plan. I was like, bestie, if you're looking for a job, here's everything that you need to do. And I got very specific. I was like, resume, make sure it's 1 page, make sure that there's bullets, make sure there's this, like LinkedIn, here's what you want to think about, like networking, like and I just like laid it out. And it ended up being like a pretty long article, but I basically was like, okay, this is what it's going to be. I didn't even think twice. I was just like, whatever. Who's gonna read this? I had like less than 1,000. I think I had like 400 subscribers, okay? And I was like, who's gonna read this anyway? Who cares, right? So I hit publish, didn't think anything of it. Okay. The next day, again, remember, I had turned in this huge project, the manuscript, that I had worked months on tirelessly. I had been sitting at my kitchen table doing, at this point, it was like line edits, just like reading it through, like making sure, because obviously as a first time author, I also like wanted to make sure that I did a really good job. Okay. So I had been going through things painstakingly. And so I feel like, again, because I had nothing in my brain, and maybe this is like something we should pay attention to. Like when we are just like making stuff and not overthinking it, maybe this is actually when we get into the flow state. Okay. So I was like, oh, I want to like grow my TikTok. I want to share more on TikTok. I'm all out of ideas. Again, I'm brain dead, right? I've just been staring at this manuscript for ages. I'm like, holy shit. I just wrote this whole 10-week plan. Let me make 10 videos. I was like, I just laid it out for myself already. I was like, let me just make 10 videos. And I just got on TikTok and I was like, hi, this is a series for anyone who's looking for a job. It's going to be a 10-part video series. I'm going to take you through week by week what I would do. I've been a career coach for years. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Boom. Recorded video 1, recorded video 2. I just kept going. I sat there, my ass in my chair, and I just recorded 10 videos in a row and hit publish. The videos were not linked to any product. Okay, so they didn't have like the boost of TikTok Shop. They were just regular schmegular videos. And those videos started taking off. I think because it was a combination of, I'm just going to give you very actionable advice for free. And I remember also saying, because I truly was just like, again, remember, I was in a brainless state. I didn't give a fuck about anything. Okay. I remember turning to the camera and being like, by the way, if you don't want to watch these videos, all of this is laid out for free in my Substack. And then for 5 seconds, I flashed, it was like careercoachmandy.substack or whatever it was, okay, on the screen. Didn't think anything of it. Was just literally trying to help people out. Like, if you're lazy and you don't want to watch all this shit, okay, just go, here's the link. Just like, it's free. Just grab the article. You could read it. It's the last thing I published. Okay, da-da-da. At that point, I had no success on Substack whatsoever. I know they say like, oh, it's this platform with all this organic growth. I have not experienced it yet, okay? I don't know what they're talking about. Nobody has discovered my stuff. I don't know. It feels like a little bit like there's just a bunch of famous people on there and monetizing their stuff. And then there's, of course, like really big players. But if you're just like a regular person, in my opinion, if you don't take matters into your own hands, it could be pretty hard to grow. Okay. So I did that, and the videos on TikTok started really taking off. Okay, so this is a tip for you guys. If you want your videos to pop off, I highly recommend making a series, making a playlist. So all you do is you record the video, then you create a playlist, and then you just put that video in the playlist. Every single time you make another video, before you post it, there's just a little box that pops up. You say, yeah, playlist, you pick which one. So then as you're making videos, they all go into the playlist. What happens is then when someone's scrolling on your page, they see a video, right at the bottom, there's a link that says playlist, and it'll be like the 10-week plan playlist, okay? That opens up, and all of a sudden they click on that, and then they're watching 10 of your videos. Okay, you remember the whole like Risa Tisa, like who the fuck did I marry? Like that was a playlist, okay? So I was like, I'm gonna make a playlist. So what happens is the algorithm loves it because the algorithm's like, oh, not only are they like engaged in this one video, but then they're going on to watch 5, 6, 7 more videos from this creator. It's like brilliant. Okay. So then what happened is I start looking at my Substack and because the way that Substack works too is when you land on the Substack page for the first time, you get that little box and it says like, would you like to subscribe, And it probably was like, Mandy has 4 other subscribers or whatever. Like, it tells you how many subscribers they have. And of course you can click no thanks, but I think also a lot of people don't realize that they can just click no thanks and go straight to it. So I think a lot of people by default were like, oh yeah, let me put in my email so I can like get access to this, okay? When I tell you that, first off, the series popped off because I think it was very actionable. I didn't ask for anything. I gave it all away for free. So the videos started racking up views. At first, it was like 10,000 views. I was like, holy shit. There's like 50,000 views. Then it was like 100,000 views on these videos. And I was like, right? So you just do the math. All of a sudden, your top of funnel is like popping off. People are coming to your page. They are coming to your Substack. Over the course of like the next couple weeks, okay, when I tell you, I got 3,000 subscribers. Granted, they're free subscribers. And of course, later on, I can figure out how to do the conversion to that and like how to get people to be more into paid. I'm like not that smart yet, okay? But it's like through that process of promoting it and then driving people to the Substack. Okay, why am I sharing all of this? Because I really haven't replicated that. However, 2026, what I'm gonna try to do And this is something that I would just tell you no matter what, if you were trying to start your own business, okay? What I would say is you want your platforms to be connected, okay? From now on, I'm not trying to write some random Substack. I'm going to make a Substack that lays the foundation for me to then make videos about, okay? Because people consume content in different ways, right? And so I'm now going to be thinking about, okay, before you write this article, how could this translate into a video? And then in the video, you're calling back to what? To your own article. You're saying, if you want more, and I'm going to test it out. I think it probably does work better when it's more of a step-by-step, like, let me teach you something, let me share something tangible with you to do the callback. Like, I don't know if it was like, oh, I did a reflective essay on the state of, I don't, it might be people just want information and then they come to the written word to consume your information in a different way. Okay. So for 2026, one of my themes, I think, is going to be the linking of different platforms. And I don't know why I don't do this more, but for example, 2 videos ago, I did the video on, hold on. Hustle culture destroyed my brain. Here's what I'm doing to rebuild my business my way. Okay. So I did that whole video. I'm thinking to myself, Mandy, you don't just make a YouTube video and then be like, okay, bye. I was like, get on LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn, because now you're talking about business. Now you're talking about hustle culture. Now you're talking about how you came up in the 2010s and what you saw and how that impacted you and what certain investors said to you. I was like, this is perfect crossover for LinkedIn. So what do? My ass goes to LinkedIn. Now, because I had taken a course with LinkedIn, and not a course, that's like the wrong way to describe it. There was like a thing for creators to learn how to pop off on LinkedIn, hosted by LinkedIn, essentially. Obviously, they want more people creating content on there. And so the whole thing with LinkedIn, and I'll just tell you, is they're like, with LinkedIn, you have a professional audience who wants to learn something. They want to be educated. Okay, rightly or wrongly, like, this was from what they've seen of what content really pops off and what content really does well, it's education. Okay. So I was like, I think I can do that. And so I got on LinkedIn and I wrote a whole post, because I'm not just getting on there to drop a link and be like, go watch my YouTube video. No, you need to provide context for every platform. So I'm getting on LinkedIn. And I what do we do? What do we do? Okay, this is another 2026 thing that I think we're really leaning into. What are we doing? We're storytelling. So I'm storytelling. I'm just going to read a little bit. I write, I came up in the 2010s in NYC when hustle culture was abundant. I watched as Birchbox and Rent the Runway grew, envious of the female entrepreneurs who were making it, even though they still only ever got 2% of all funding. In pitch meeting after pitch meeting, I was told by VCs that our idea, a fashion tech company, was cute, but it would be totally okay if we wanted to just run a lifestyle business. Lifestyle business was a dirty term. And I am like breaking it up like you do on LinkedIn. It's annoying, but whatever. Conventions are conventions. Okay, then I continue. I hate to admit it, but I started preempting these conversations by saying, we don't want to just build a lifestyle business. Okay, so I go on and on. It's like I'm telling this whole fucking story. And why did I intentionally name drop Birchbox and Rent the Runway? Because I'm on LinkedIn, okay? Because I know that that's going to anchor people in a specific time. I'm trying to speak their language, okay? So I'm going to name drop the 2 biggest startups of the 2010s in sort of female entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship direct to consumer in general, okay? So then I'm like, if this was you or you know someone who is also sick and tired of the hustle culture, the bro tech culture that is like taking over with AI, right? Like, watch this video, okay? So normally I have like I will I'm still learning LinkedIn, okay? I posted this like a day ago. It already has 1,800 impressions, okay? Most of these are the reactions, like when people like it, are just my friends from college or wherever being like, "Yay, like we like it, like we're supporting you because we're your friend," okay? But then when I look at my YouTube analytics and I look at, okay, who's actually watching this video, normally it's 100% obviously from YouTube because I'm never cross promoting anything. This time it was like 2% of views came from LinkedIn, which is actually significant. That's like translates into, at this time of filming, translates into 20 people. 20 people read my little spiel, clicked on the YouTube video, but guess what? I think that video is also kind of doing well, relatively well, because I think YouTube also is like, oh, what? Like, this bitch is sending us traffic from LinkedIn? Like, oh, okay. It's like, I think that all the platforms are a little bit in competition with each other and they love it. They're like, oh, so you're basically doing PR for us. Okay, great. I think same thing with Substack. I think Substack saw that, like, oh my gosh, like all these people off platform are coming to subscribe to this newsletter, although nothing else happened. So maybe that theory is not correct. Okay, so for 2026, what am I doing? I feel like 2026 for me is the year of intentional mastery. And as part of that, I really want to start connecting these platforms. Like, I really want to make an article, which only helps you. Like, when you write something out, it just helps your brain organize the information. If you already wrote an article on something, it's gonna be 10 times easier to like make a video about it. Trust me, okay? I'm gonna lean into that like 1-2 punch, okay? I'm also gonna lean into the YouTube to LinkedIn like 1-2 punch, because I wanna make more business and like soft entrepreneurship adjacent content. That's just like what I love. I'm obsessed with it. In addition to like the motivational general content, but I'm going to be really leaning into more of the business stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to, you know what this is? You know what this is? This is like, if you're just a woman and you know how to use things. It's like, you know how you have stuff in your fridge and you open it and you're like, there's an onion, there's a carrot, there's some old chicken, and then you're like, soup. You know what I mean? You just know, or like, I'm like, okay, I have this beef, and then I have this green pepper, and then you're like, Chinese dinner. Like, you just know how to make the connections between things. That is all I'm doing. Finally, instead of just like eating one stupid ingredient at a time, I'm like, let me make a meal. Like, let me make a meal out of this. So I wonder, what are you doing? Are you also trying? I don't know why this is so hard. Like, why? I've been working on my business for so fucking long. And like, why is it that only now I'm like, maybe I should connect the two? And it's like, duh! But I just say that to say, like, if you're also struggling, like, let's just hang out here together. Because sometimes I literally am like, this is so basic. Of course, you should cross-promote content. But I'm telling you, sometimes this shit is so hard. And you just have to, like, you're in your own way. And you're just like, like, okay. So this felt very revelatory for me. You might be like, bitch, I've been doing this for years. This is my formula. And this may just not be the way my brain works. So the fact that I'm having this breakthrough might be like nothing. That's so stupid. But I hope you enjoy it. I would love to hear from you. I'm supposed to do a plug now. I told myself, do a plug at the end of the thing. What am I trying to plug? Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had thought about this. I am almost at 50,000 subscribers. This is completely a vanity metric, but it helps to motivate me. I think I have 200 or 300 left to go before I hit that number. I might get a balloon. I might get cake. It's been okay, I'm not going to go there because I'm not going to like be in a way that it's like, woe is me, because I understand how lucky I am. Let's just say I would be so thrilled to hit 50,000. If it's your first time, girl, you could watch a couple more to see if you really like me, okay? If you've been watching my shit and it has ever helped you, even for one moment of your life, please subscribe. Let's just get there. Let's get to 50K before the end of the year. That is my goal. So that is my ask from you. Please, if you like it, like it. If you subscribe. And thank you guys so much. Okay, bye.